township has voted, and the township has voted to make it cut what appears to be $108,000 from our budget. That is where I was getting a fax. We are studying that, which is why I must leave shortly to understand what is written there. So please understand that was the reason. We do have a sign-in sheet. There seems to be a problem.
Hello?
I don't know what's going on.
Board President, we have a number of parents here who require translation, and I believe we have
Translator.
a volunteer. Thank you. Thank you
All right.
so much.
So are they?
So as people speak, you can give them an opportunity to be able to translate.
Are they signed? Okay, well, let's go through the sign-in sheet, and I do see James Wood. So am I allowed to say James Wood or come to the microphone?
Yes.
Thank you.
Maybe you could explain that this is a public portion where people speak.
Tenemos ahora el foro público donde los residentes pueden platicar ahora.
Y en cada reunión tenemos una oportunidad para todos los padres o los participantes de la comunidad poder hablar de necesidades u opiniones, pero tienen que firmar cuando llegan en la reunión. Hay un papel. ¿Sí?
Sí, pero haga de cuenta, si una persona está trabajando, ¿cómo vamos a llegar media hora antes de la reunión? Es imposible eso.
Un momento, can you let us know what's going on?
I'm sorry. Our parent indicated that when she came in, she could sign. I believe, and board attorney, if you could tell us when is the paper taken back, so I can tell the parent when there's a deadline.
There's too many people to get to the paper.
Okay, Mrs. Silva, I'm sorry, I was speaking with the...
It's okay. I just want to be able to respond to the parent.
What was the concern?
The concern was that the paper wasn't there for her to sign in when she got here.
The paper was there until 8 o'clock. Mr. Waters, go.
La próxima vez tienen que llegar un punto antes de la reunión porque a las 8 en punto sacan el papel. Para la próxima, antes de las 8 pueden firmar para participar.
Was it in Spanish?
We need to begin the meeting. Mr. Waters. Mr. Waters, please. You do have 4 minutes.
Can we finish this conversation first?
We have numerous amount of newcomers that may be more quite familiar with the process of having them sign in. Being that the room was so crowded, they where the paperwork could be found. I would like to make recommendation to have the people who want to speak.
Through the chair.
He's not done talking.
Mr. Tipp brings a good point up. Let us go through first with the people who did sign up, and then the board could address that. Would that be satisfactory? Thank you. Mr. Waters. And what you're going to do, ma'am, is summarize at the end. Thank you.
James Waters, 1275 Old County Line Road, Lakewood. Michael, you're familiar. I'll do this through the president. Back in 2001, 2002, I introduced the call for action in education. So I'm going to talk about things that we tried to put forth that were constructed that went nowhere.
The only thing I would ask, ma'am, he has a right to have his 4 minutes. What I would ask, okay, if you could just summarize at the end of the 4 minutes, I don't want to interrupt. All right, she's going to try. If she can, she'll tell us.
All right, the call for action, when this was presented to the board back then, a committee was put together to deal with it. The committee met 3 times, and then nothing else happened, like it just died. I also introduced, back around 2003, Amistad. putting into the classroom, starting at K all the way through the 12th grade, teaching the contributions of African Americans as part of the regular school curriculum. I reintroduced that, and we still haven't gone anywhere with it. You want to know why I'm always frustrated? You know, a child that doesn't understand history, a child doesn't have that cultural sensitivity and that cultural awareness of contributions of people that look like that. We teach all kinds of things in the classroom, and I'm not criticizing that. But we have infused in our society not just African Americans, but Latinos that have a right to understand some of their history. And so that the kids that are not African American Latino can learn something about the other kids that are in the class. See, we divide ourselves in terms of history months instead of teaching everybody's history during the entire year. I've addressed a number of times tracking students from 8th grade through 12th. That's probably about 6 or 7 graduating classes ago. Well, we can look at reasons why children are unhappy in school, why they're dropping out. Unless we address some of the things that are constructive, that are presented to a board of meetings, you have to believe and question whether the board really cares about the education process regarding these kind of issues. Brown versus the Board of Education happened in 1954. I was a student in Lakewood schools. We never even talked about it. In a good school system, we never talked about Brown. I learned about Brown when I became an adult. And in case you have members that think Brown was a mistake, Brown wasn't a mistake. Brown 2 was a mistake. Brown 2 was failure to implement Brown 1. That was the mistake.
Thank you. 4 minutes.
El señor Waters explicó que tenía preocupaciones ya que había recomendado varios programas sobre la educación cultural y de la historia, porque tenemos que nuestros estudiantes deben entender su identidad y de dónde vienen y deben enseñar la cultura mediante el año completo, y también ha tenido experiencias negativas donde no pudo aprender de la historia relevante a los estudios del día cuando él estuvo en las escuelas y quiere cambios.
Carol Cousins. That's out of hand.
Carol Cousins, Lakewood Education Association. We are once again saddened by the cuts that the board has deemed were necessary. 36 non-tenure staff members that...
I want to interrupt you. That's not the board. That's the superintendent.
And?
You said the board.
And where is the difference? Other than she's the superintendent, but you act on what she presents to you. Correct? Okay.
4 minutes, Mrs. Cousins.
So, I know he's taking my...
Yes, 4 minutes.
I'll get an extra minute from him, you know that. So, by the way, and anyway, 36 staff members. We have what we call in this district and across the state a revolving door in Lakewood with staff members in and out. When are we going to ever have a stabilized teaching staff in this district so that we can move on with the business of educating children? That's what's important. I also want to talk about the fact that I do have a question. It has always been a policy, an agreement between the Board of Education and the Lakewood Education Association that we as the LEA receive copies of the minutes from the board minutes. And I will say to you, in the last year, we have not received any minutes. And we do keep them in a binder in our office because there are times when we need to refer to them. When Cynthia left, it just died. And with all the things going on day to day, I've not been able to come to the microphone and remember to ask. I'm asking tonight because as we move forward and Janice Bosky takes over, the LEA office needs a copy of those minutes every time they are typed by the board. Mediation meeting. The LEA Association received the information that the mediation meeting on Monday was being canceled at 12:45 Monday afternoon. I have a question as to, first of all, why the meeting was canceled. I was told that the reason why the meeting was canceled was because we have 2 new board members. However, we have 7 other board members who have been here. And at 12:45, I would think that we could have received information weeks before because we all knew the election was going to take place April 27th. So we knew there would be some new people sitting here. So the date perhaps should have never been set, or it certainly should have been canceled prior to 12:45 Monday afternoon. So I have a question in regards to why that occurred. All right, and my last is that I was told that the membership was told this afternoon that perhaps if they have a problem with the fact that we don't have a contract, that we should speak to the Township Committee. But I will say this to you, we do not negotiate with the Township Committee. We're not hired by the Township Committee. So therefore, and the Township Committee, I will say to you, never ever said to us they wanted to cut 10%. It was the Board of Ed who said they wanted to cut 10%. So therefore, if we're going to talk to anybody, it will be the Board of Education and not the Township.
Carol Casas es la presidenta de la educación de Asociación de Educaciones, de la Asociación de Educadores en Lakewood, y está muy entristecida porque hay 36 posiciones eliminadas de nuevos maestros y desea una estabilidad dentro de los maestros que están presentes en el distrito porque se están moviendo y saliendo muchos y creando una falta de estabilidad. También dice que también debe recibir copias de los minutos que se están haciendo en cada reunión y quiere entregarlos para que cuando Janice Bosky tome la rienda de la Asociación de Educadores, que ella va a poder recibir eso. Y también quiere explicación por qué se canceló la reunión del lunes a las 12:45 en vez de haberlo cancelado semanas antes, y también desea platicar y negociar con la Junta de Educación porque se fue recomendado que se negociaba o se podía platicar con el Comité del Pueblo, pero ella está clarificando que eso no es cierto. Nosotros negociamos, o ella negocia y la Asociación de Educación negocia solamente con la Junta de Educación. Respuesta a mis preguntas.
Do I get answers to my questions? Oh, I don't know. There are a lot of people down that way. Who's speaking to me?
Contesta.
Are you speaking, sir, or else we'll go to the next person?
Is that protocol? Answer.
I would like answers to my questions. Everyone else comes up and asks. I'll ask the president.
I'll answer. Okay, hold up. Okay, 12:45 was canceled because the new president chooses a new committee to do the therefore it doesn't make a difference if 7 people in here. I have to pick 4 people. The 4 people are not picked at the moment yet. That's the main reason why it had to be canceled. We don't go by last year. Some people from last year's committee backed out. It wasn't the same. And new president, new committee. That was wrong. It was a mistake. I apologize. that it had to be canceled, but I hadn't informed that committee yet. That was the board minutes are, they're being done very slowly. The problem is that it's one person doing it, and we're doing it by a tape. It's word by word by word. Even though we have a stenographer here, but it doesn't, you can't, I did it that question. So the other stenographer here wanted to just put it out the same way it comes out. And I was told it doesn't come out in a format that's readable the way you see with it.
And despite some people saying that Cynthia was a colossal waste of money, you would agree that she wasn't, would you not? And not only that, they are posted on the website, but it is a problem we noted, and Ms. Miller.
We're approving one today, I believe, on January 28th, something like that. So it is being done. It's not that nothing's being done. It is being done today.
And it does need to be corrected because it needs to go to their office.
Right, okay, I've got a bunch today, whatever it is, but you're right, not today, but it's one of these problems that we have here. One person does a lot of jobs, doesn't have that much time, you gotta do word for word for word from the tape. So it's one of these things, it's not where...
I know I'm not supposed to rebuttal, but it's not the process.
He's not supposed to read his editorial either.
But that's correct, that's correct,
And he was just like...
You're going to get them started
the ones we
tomorrow.
approved, do you have those?
None from a year.
President
Okay,
Grunhut.
fine.
I will forward the minutes.
No, you will not. Lisa Miller will. She already wrote it down.
No, you won't.
That's great.
Shmuel Rabinowitz.
Thank you. Shmuel Rabinowitz, 800 South Lake Drive. I'm here on behalf of Leap. Leap is the provider of Head Start and Early Head Start here in Lakewood. Several months back, I'm here instead of Bex Saunders, who's the director of Leap. She couldn't make it here tonight. We would like just to speak briefly about something that there were several meetings with Lydia Silva and some other people working here in the Board of Education regarding early education dollars that I believe are here available from state money. I don't know exactly where they're from because I was only a board member of Leap. What we were asking and what was proposed to be done at the time is to have a collaboration between the Board of Education and Leap to provide early education services to the children of Lakewood. The reason we felt that Leap is in a better position to do that than most other providers is because Leap, as a provider of Head Start, which is a federal program, as maybe a lot of people are aware here, that has a lot of cultural sensitivity, and the main idea behind the program is to bring the children from their homes and bring them into the school system in a way that's very culturally sensitive to wherever these children are coming from. We here in Lakewood, we're all aware we come from many different cultures, very diverse cultures, and as many people I'm sure have heard in the past, how hard it is to bridge these things. Leap, as a provider of Head Start, has been doing this very, very successfully. And we felt that most probably the smartest and the best way of providing services to all the residents of Lakewood would be to go through a program that has been successful, has been being federally viewed every year, very, very successfully, and very top grades, to provide these services through Leap in collaboration with the Board of Ed, and that way all children in Lakewood can get the services they deserve for their early childhood and be able to be pointed to the school system properly. The discussion has been going on for a while. We know that we've heard that some board members have not heard of this, or they weren't made aware of it. That's why we decided, we thought it would be proper to speak tonight, and hopefully implore you to try to vote on this and make this happen as soon as possible, so that these dollars can be put to use and all the children like it.
Está viniendo de parte de la organización del LIP, donde provee servicios de la escuela infantiles, y le está pidiendo que por favor consideren su servicio, porque dice que está aprobado ya por el programa federal, que también promueve la sensibilidad cultural que se necesita en este pueblo.
Pastor Wilson. Pastor.
Pastor Wilson, 138 Corner Drive, Lakewood. In the last meeting, I made reference to some of the practices, the history. I sort of got frustrated over the history of this board to hear us out, at every meeting, and then we go away and it appears to us that nothing happens. And Mr. Grunhut, thank you for the opportunity to...
8 minutes,
8 minutes, okay.
That's right, 8 minutes.
Good. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you and bring to you some of the things that we consider are problems and things that we bring to you over and over again. And some of the things that I have written down, I actually put a checkpoint next to it because I don't want to, go over something that is already started. I want to congratulate Dr. Deb and Ms. Silva for the efforts that have already started, our technology department. But one of the things that we found, and also I want to say to you that when I come before you, sometimes we ask questions to which we know the answers because we do the research. So it's not rhetoric, it is stuff that we know is happening. One of the things that I looked at this week is that there is a code of ethics that you as board members swear to. And I'm going to open up a dialogue tonight that we're going to carry on. But I want to highlight two things to you tonight. One of the things that you swear to as a board member is I will make decisions in terms of the educational welfare of children and will seek to develop and maintain public schools that meet the individual needs of all children regardless of their ability, race, creed, sex, and social standings. That's what you swear to. It appears to us, okay, that this board, that your priority is not the public schools of Lakewood. Okay, it appears to us. Okay? Show you?
Please don't interrupt him.
Okay. Okay. Our students have failed to meet standards. Okay? For the last 10 years. Our facilities are deplorable. I invite you to come and take a tour. Our educational and learning resources, and this is one of the ones that I'm going to table because I do see some efforts taking place that we're all trying to better our technology. Our teachers do not receive the training nor the tools they need to do the jobs well. Our educational and learning resources, well, this is also technology. Our children are ill-prepared to enter into universities. And I'm facing this experience right now. My son, who's about to graduate Lakewood next month, was just rejected from 3 colleges because he's not ready. These are real facts. Our students in Lakewood are ill-prepared to enter university colleges at the level of other students from other public schools, district, locally, statewide, and also nationally. Another thing that you swear to that you don't comply to is, I will confine my board action to policy making, planning, and appraisal, and I will help to frame policies and plans only after the board has consulted those who will be affected by them. It is no secret that the district staff and parents do not feel that they have been consulted whenever the board is making decisions that affect them or their children.
Right.
This does not happen.
Such as?
Don't interrupt.
Use your
minutes.
Next time.
Okay, most of the times, we are hit with decisions that you make in the back room. This is good dialogue. I'm glad that I'm talking to you. You talk back.
Mayor, please don't take past your 8 minutes though.
Okay? You swear to consult with us because these decisions affect us and our children. That does not happen. That does not happen. Okay? When a board runs well, the only person a board hires directly is the superintendent of schools. The superintendent is responsible for the overall operation of the school and brings recommendation to the board to be acted on, including all personnel under her supervision. And over again, I've been asking that Lydia is the educator and that the board should exist to serve her and to make sure that she gets the tools she needs to operate our district so that our children can get the best education they deserve. That doesn't happen. Last for tonight. Something else that you swear to. I will refuse to surrender my independent judgment to social interests and partisan political groups, or to use the school for personal gain or for the gain of friends. This is self-explanatory. What other public school district has a board where the majority members are from the non-public school sector?
Amen.
Sorry, it is 8.5 minutes.
Just close it up. Okay, let me just close it up.
You close up.
We are once again talking about cuts. And every time you cut, we never cut the pie evenly. We only cut on this side of town. You missed the Gus the bus. Gus the bus. He gave you guys a study on busing. That if that study was implemented, the district could save $4 million. But because busing is an issue that we don't want to touch, we'd rather let that $4 million go and cut elsewhere. Every time you cut, our schools right now are working at their bare minimum. We cannot give you any more. I suggest that if you want to cut any more, take a look at busing. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And I also want to say that whenever I bring an issue, it's never personal. You know, it's never a personal attack, but these are facts that our public school side needs to have these questions and these issues dealt with. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.
La comunidad presenta averías y problemas múltiples veces, pero al salir del salón parece ser que nunca se ha oído. También felicito a la superintendenta y la doctora Ter por sus iniciativas con la tecnología, pero está preocupado con la falta de la código de ETA que se usa en sus negocios con la Junta. Está también ellos jurados a una posición donde tienen que buscar el bienestar educacional de todos a pesar de religión y raza y sexo. Y la prioridad parece ser el sector privado, no el público. Él dice que también, desafortunadamente, ejemplos, el presidente pidió ejemplos, los ejemplos que le dio fue que no estamos pasando los exámenes, nuestras escuelas están en malas condiciones, los maestros no están recibiendo el adiestramiento adecuado, los niños no están preparados para ir a las universidades. Y él tuvo una experiencia muy negativa con su hijo donde no estuvo preparado para la universidad después de graduarse de aquí, que está a punto de graduarse de aquí en la escuela superior. También que hay muchas decisiones que se están haciendo en el cuarto detrás y deben de consultar al público quiénes son aquellos que son afectados por las decisiones. Ese es el juramento que ellos hicieron cuando entraron a su posición y él siente que ellos no lo han hecho.
Dorothy,
Can't hear you.
The issue that I came here to was my
Name?
Her name is Dorothy Millett.
I had it addressed. It took time to get to this portion of the meeting, and I've secured a private meeting to her to take care of my issue in private. But a couple of other things came up. I was never aware that like this was National Autism Awareness Month, and that's a question that I've been asking about for at least 2 years in the school system. So I'd like to know, how it's being implemented in our school. Just more information on it. And also, I'm really happy that you're doing on their end, going forward with the technology. I've actually been working with the schools, and I've heard from teachers that they wanted to get into that section there, so I'm very, very happy that you're doing that. And I had one more issue, but I can't remember. I'm a little bit nervous right now.
Okay.
I wanted to ask another question. Are they going to be keeping us informed as it goes along on the technology and also on that autism issue? I would like to be informed without having to find out about it by reading the paper or something like that. Is there going to be regular information distributed to us as the parents?
If you could give your phone number to Liz Miller, when we do post things on our website. Español.
Él está felicitando con las iniciativas de tecnología y ha oído que maestros están muy interesados en usarlos en sus salones. También está preocupada porque no recibió suficiente información sobre el mes de autistas y quisiera hablarle más de eso. Y otra pregunta que es que si, en qué forma estarán informando a la comunidad sobre el progreso con la tecnología.
Onaja Williams, I know he's here. Onaja Williams, say that wrong, I'm sorry. Okay, he is here, I know he's here. I don't want to be accused of showing, there he is. No, I said I know you're here before you accuse me wrongly.
So I first want to say, I want to commend Ms. Silva on a wonderful job she's done this year. Going into the old 10-11 year, you were faced with cutting $5 million from regular program education. That's a 27% cut. That came as a result of an 81% cut in transportation aid. So you had to redirect that $5 million to transportation costs. So, Mr. Grunhart, when you asked Dr. Wilson, Pastor Wilson, to give you some proof, there's your proof. So, eventually they're going to want you to cut another $6 million. Could you please tell us how you're going to do that?
And that happens to what you know.
No dialogue.
This is no dialogue. It makes no sense whatsoever. You ever gone to a court and the judge goes and tells you sorry? He talks and talks. It's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. I don't know how to make this rule up. No dialogue. 4 minutes. I'll be like a person. I once had to go to a court for some disability or something. I don't know what. I represent my company. I go up there and the judge tells me, "Are you a lawyer?" No. Then you can't talk. And the judge starts talking and talking and talking. A lot of it was erroneous. I couldn't talk back. Why? Because no dialogue unless you're a lawyer. This thing goes, if I can change this rule and there's no dialogue, I'd love to. Go talk, and Michael shuts me up, I'll shut up.
Make a motion. Tracy, a second.
Vamos a la playa ahora.
Que no tiene sentido que no pueda responder a las preguntas.
All right, thank you.
So, if you want to allow Ms. Silva to talk about the $5 million that already took place in the whole 10 and 11 budget here. Mr. Grunhart.
Hut, like pizza.
Oh, he does a lot of hurting, so I say Grunhart.
Thank
Él está felicitando a la Secretaría de Silva por su esfuerzos porque ya tuvo que cortar $5 millones, que es 27% del presupuesto, tuvo que cortarlos para redirigirlos a los gastos para transportación. Él está pidiendo que por favor, eso es un ejemplo de cómo ellos están prefiriendo el sector privado sobre el público, y que si la superintendente de Silva podría explicar cómo fue que lo hizo.
Annette Kearney.
I'm not going to be, but I'm willing to allow one of the other parents.
We'll deal with that.
Make sure they speak.
Well, I'm not going to make sure of that, but I'm going to let the board
I'm going to
decide.
let my time go to them.
Okay, your 4 minutes is passed. Barbara Cutter.
I'm going to do the same.
Go, girl.
Pastor Jackson is here. I don't know. You give him a moment, please.
Good evening, everybody. I'll be your huckleberry. Pastor Jackson, 271 Joe Parker Road. I am baffled because
He doesn't understand what that meant.
oh, that's all right.
It wasn't anything bad.
Let him go. Let him go. But I'm baffled. A couple meetings ago, I sat here. Maybe I best make this a question, because if I'm not mistaken, you said last year $14 million went to the non-public school over budget, and this year 12 million. Am I right? 12 million they have received already, but yet you're cutting or you're firing teachers in the public school. How did that happen?
Teachers are not being fired now because of budget reasons. Teachers are not level.
Could Ms. Superintendent answer?
What is he
The cuts that are being made now are not budget cuts. They're being done because, as per the recommendations of individual principals and they have evaluations which indicate that they are not.
Money is money, no matter how you.
These teachers people will be hired in their place because we have children. So understand that at this time, this is not about the budget. This is about individual teachers who did not receive satisfactory ratings.
That's not true.
Buscando que el año pasado se entregó $14 millones al sector privado y este año también $12 millones, y por qué se están cortando, eliminando maestros. La superintendenta respondió y dijo que estos cortes, las eliminaciones de posiciones no tienen que ver con el dinero, sino con su trabajo escolar o académico.
Jerome Robinson.
Pastor Jackson, he was looking at me, wanted to ask him about the 14th to 12.
Pastor Jackson?
Pastor Wilson. Jackson, sorry.
Jackson, sorry.
You motioning to me as if like I'm supposed to answer the 14 to the 12 million. It's not for the non-public schools, that's for a private school for the disabled. And last year was because we had underpaid them the year before. So we had to pay them more. This year we're hoping not to have that.
$14 million?
That's what they charge us, state approved.
$12 million?
That's what the state makes us pay.
Él está calificando los $14 millones, está diciendo los $12 millones que se entregaron era porque no habían pagado suficiente el año antes para la educación de niños con disabilities. Entonces eso quiere decir que ese dinero se debía y fue aprobado por el Estado.
Jerome Robinson.
Jerome Robinson, 500 Arlington Avenue. I want to ask 3 brief questions, and I'm hoping I can get an answer for all of them. The first question is to the entire board, and I want to take out religious practices, but if all of you had students, children who were school-aged, would you send them to the Lakewood public school system? That's the first question. Second, I was at a meeting, the last Board of Ed meeting, and they had the line items for different salaries there, and I failed to see one item there for special education consultant. I didn't see a line item there for that, how much that is. And what are the qualifications? Because I'm a psychologist, and if you don't have that kind of background, guess what? How could you be doing? How could you even make a statement as far as, especially as far as classification and diagnosis of any children? You're not able to do that if you're not qualified. That's the second question. But let me know. Can I get an answer for those two first?
Su primera pregunta dice que si ustedes tuvieran niños de la edad para la escolar, ¿mandarían ustedes sus hijos a nuestras escuelas públicas en Lakewood? Su segunda pregunta fue que no vio los detalles sobre salarios de especialista educacional y dice que él quisiera saber cuáles son las calificaciones para tener esa posición y cómo es que alguien que no tenga esas calificaciones puede tomar decisiones sobre los niños de educación especial.
The answer to the question is you're not going to find a special consultant that's paid on catapult. You won't find anyone out of that one.
Your answer, I don't want to sit here silent, is incorrect, if I may.
Thank you.
But
hold on, why is he able to give incorrect answers to the public? Why is he able to do that?
it's correct, I guess, I'm going to say.
No, I don't know what the answer is, that's why I asked, but...
Oh, you have another answer? Yeah, you can answer. We have dialogue now. Yeah, we can answer.
I'm sorry.
Answer the first question.
Oh, yeah, would I send my kid to public school if I wasn't Jewish? Of course I would.
I asked that question of the entire board.
Well, I
asked that for everybody.
Well, we're not having 8 people, 9 people answer that question.
Of course.
So if you can answer yes, right?
You can't speak for Chris.
Well, I think his answer is yes. You think no? Irene's answer is yes, because it's still went to public school. My answer is yes, why not? If I'm not Jewish, and I live in Lakewood, of course I would send it there. What do you think they would say? What do you think they would say?
Parliamentarian.
If my tuition would go up enough, I probably would do it even though I am Jewish.
Why are we talking about religion?
The what?
You said not to mention.
It's 4 minutes and 20 seconds.
Yeah, but really, I stopped there.
I'm not going to argue with you, sir. That's the policy.
This is not
Let me give the correct answer, though.
Mike, let me say something.
No, I have to do this.
But Mike, when out of respect, don't just talk over people and cut them off.
Yeah.
Come on, Mike.
Yeah.
You're rude. I stopped after 2 minutes trying to get 2 simple answers.
Mr. Robinson, okay, listen. We got rules here. The only rule that has to change tonight is dialogue, but not in 4 minutes. 4 minutes is 4 minutes. You want 8 answers? That's not my fault that 8 people to answer your question takes 4.5 minutes. That's not my fault. But, listen, you're definitely welcome to come to speak next time. I'll give you 4 minutes with dialogue. But it's not fair. 4 minutes is 4 minutes.
It's okay. Listen, the next time I speak, when I ask the question,
right. So
please answer the question. That's all.
Okay.
Baruch Mandel. Mr. Robinson, if you stay till the end, I will gladly give you, if the board lets me, your...
While Mr. Mandel's coming up, Michael, can you tell us the answer?
Yeah, actually, there's a job description.
Mr. Robinson.
There's a job description.
He's
Is Mr. Mandel here?
Yeah.
Oh, you're waiving your time? So while we're answering, Kimberly Singleton.
But while she's coming
There's a job description which is public, it does not involve diagnosing children. I can get you a copy.
No,
I can't do dialogue. I was told I can't.
But you do anyway.
Oh, I see. Okay. Mrs. Singh, I'm sorry, Kimberly Singleton.
Kimberly Singleton, 1415 Bellinger Street. I'd like to know what proof do you have that shows that these teachers aren't performing well and were they put on probation, performance probation? That's the first question.
Espanol.
And maybe if we cut some of these consultants and the bonuses that the attorneys are paid to cover Michael's back, maybe that'll give us some money. And why would you remove Miss Marty D. Daniels from the
Yeah.
performing school in the district? No, that's not it. That's what I'd like to know. Why would you?
No, I'll finish all your 4 questions, so this way you don't get in trouble.
I'm trying to finish it.
No, I'm saying, do all the questions first.
Why would you remove her from the best performing school? Instead, maybe you could put Ms. Lewick at Oak Street School and help that school perform and improve that school. Maybe, maybe you guys could consult with Ms. Marty D. That would be something that could be thought about. Okay,
Yes.
my last thing is, again, maybe you could shave off the transportation. Maybe that can help out the budget, and also give our kids, the teachers, a better education. That's it.
The answer to the first few questions is because we are not allowed to discuss personnel in public, period. The answer